Scores of women, led by the South African Women Lawyers Association, have taken to the streets in Pretoria to protest against gender-based violence today. The march comes as the country continues to observe the annual 16 days of activism for no violence against women and children. The mass action is pushing for change in how the country addresses violence against women. There are demands for prompt interventions and the amendment of laws to alleviate GBVF. Let's speak now to our reporter Zikhona Tshona, who is with the women who are marching. Zikhona, good morning to you. So when they are calling for concrete action, what does this mean in practice? What exactly are they asking for?
Well, the lawyers are adding their voice to the call for an end to gender-based violence. They're saying that the laws are there, but they are certainly not protecting women. So they want enforcement from the office of the first citizen of the country. They will be delivering a memorandum of demands to the office of the president, as well as the justice minister and the minister of women and children and persons living with disability. They're saying more needs to be done to fight gender-based violence. They're saying they themselves, as lawyers, are also victims, find themselves victims of gender-based violence. But to talk to me more about this march and what the memorandum details that they will be delivering to the office of the president is the president of the Women Lawyers Association, Mamnomaswazi Shabangu Mdwabe. What is detailed in that memorandum that you'll be delivering to the president today?
What within that memorandum, one of it is to say perpetrators of GBV, they are not supposed to be granted bail. We need specialized investigating officers who will be investigating these cases of gender-based violence, and promptly so that they can be prosecuted urgently. So we're also saying the convicts of GBV must be taken to the super maximum center in Kokstad, where they are not going to see the light of the day. And we are also saying Section 35 of the Constitution, the perpetrators of GBV must be excluded from those rights that are there. Because we've got good pieces of legislation that can assist in elevating or in dealing with gender-based violence. But because of Section 35, which gives these perpetrators rights as well, the courts can't deal with those matters. We also want specialized courts where we will be having well-trained prosecutors and presiding officers who will be dealing with these cases. And the government must take the cases of GBV and femicide as its priority.
And in the work that you do as lawyers, what are the challenges that you are faced with when it comes to cases of gender-based violence?
The challenges that we are facing is the rights that these perpetrators are having. Even if you can maybe know that this case, this person has committed this crime, but because he's got a right to be granted bail or to be released on bail, the court cannot go against that. This person has a right as well to remain silent. We've got perpetrators who are raping and killing their victims and bury them somewhere. And they will not disclose as to where they have buried, because they've got the right they've got the right to remain silent. We are saying to the president and the ministers of justice of security cluster that section must be taken away, or that right must be taken away from the perpetrators of GBV and femicide.
And what is the deadline you're giving these officers to respond to your memorandum of demand?
We gave at different dates, starting from the 1st of March 2024. There are other demands where we are saying on that date we want a plan and a detailed report as to how far are they in responding to these demands. And with regard to other, there's one that we say we need well-trained investigators. We are giving the government or the president with his ministers at least up to November 2024 during the GBV, where they are going to report to us as to how far are they with the training of these investigating officers and the prosecutors, as well as the presiding officers.
Thank you so much. much, Namasazo Shabangu Ndwabe, who is the president of the South African Women Lawyers Association. We are approaching the union buildings where we are expecting the marchers to deliver the memorandum of demands. As the president has mentioned, they've given them different dates to respond to what the call of action that they are calling for. So they want investigations to be concluded. They want experienced investigators to deal with issues of gender-based violence. And just some of the placards that the marchers are displaying as they march through the streets of Pretoria are there in your shot.